family. If you're in or near Columbia, South Carolina, you've got to visit the House of Hathor, located at 6319 North Main Street. Open Tuesday through Saturday, it's your one-stop shop for African clothing, African masks, natural soaps, incense, candles, jewelry, and more. Plus, they've got a beautiful event space. Owned and operated by Baba Rutaski and Mama Neterma Canute. When you support the House of Hathor, you support the culture. When you support the House of Hathor, you support the movement. When you support the House of Hathor, you support the people.
Greetings, my brothers and sisters. Welcome to the House of Hathor's Libation, Liberation, Lifestyle Ceremony. That we come to you this day with the message from the ancestors that brings forth our truth. That it continues to justify all of our thoughts, our words, and our actions, that we are the example of the spirit in human form. And as we continue to manifest, generate, and reflect upon what they have given us to project, through those thoughts, words, and actions, that we find balance, harmony, and order in all that we think, and all that we speak, and in all that we do. So let us bring the ancestors forward as we continue to live, love, and learn our processes of life. We call upon our ancestors far and near, fathers and mothers of our fathers, mothers and fathers of our mothers, to bear witness to all that we have done. And it is by your example that you continue to inspire us towards reclaiming our ancestral minds, regenerating our ancestral spirit, liberating our families, our homes, and our communities, and restoring our greatness as a people. We pour libation to bring into our midst your venerable ancestral spirit, radiating your great wisdom, your courage, your dedication, and your unyielding commitment to victory by any means necessary. It is in the honor of our Creator, the great ancestor of all ancestors, our mothers and fathers, our sisters and our brothers, our children and their children, our grandparents, great-grandparents, great-great-grandparents, our aunts, uncles, cousins, friends, and elders of the community, that we pour this libation in your honor. In the honor of the Creator, our great ancestor of all ancestors, and the various manifestations of the Creative Spirit, we pour libation. Ashe. For our esteemed ancestors, who laid the foundation for human civilization, and who provides the wisdom to which we live, and the models by which our lives are guided, we pour libation. Ashe. And for our esteemed ancestors, who suffered the atrocities and the horrors of our Ma'afa, but yet demonstrated the victorious power of the ancestral spirit, by maintaining their dignity no matter the cost, we pour libation. Ashe. And for our esteemed ancestors who survived and made it possible for us to be here today, that we continue the fight of our ancestral liberation and our vindication, we pour libation. Ashe. And finally, for our children and their children and future generations of our ancestors to come, that they too in their time will vindicate our race from all adversaries, and that they will continue to imprint upon the world the great genius of our ancestral humanity, we pour libation. Ashe. May your venerable spirit engulf this occasion to reaffirm our ancestral canity. May you continue to cleanse us of all negative energies that surrounds us, that you will break all work of negative magic that is against us, that you will take away from us all envy, evil, bad luck, and invincible enemies, and that you will bring protection, peace, and prosperity into our lives, into the lives of our children, our children's children, and our children's children's children, and into the lives of our families, our homes, and our communities. And we say, Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Dua Neter. Hotep, peace and power to you all this day, my brothers and sisters, as the ancestors continues to dwell within us, as they continue to be the foundation of life that extends the breath of life to us, that we continue to dwell upon all of the blessings that they have bestowed upon us, the knowledge, the wisdom, clarity, and understanding that comes through life and nature, that we continue to remove all blockages, that we open the doors that the ancestors have given to us to open, and that we continue to live the life that we have been anointed and ordained to live. And as we continue to live what we call today the intrinsic life. Intrinsic finds its way through the intangibles, the internal, and the infinite that dwells within us. This is where man has no control over our lives. It is in the intrinsic that we find our truth. It is in the intrinsic that we dwell within, and we have the relationship, the interrelationship, the interconnectedness, the interactions, and the interdependence of life itself. This is where our truth resides. This is where justice finds itself, and it perpetuates itself through our thoughts, words, and actions. Intrinsic, it is where all things that dwell within us, our values, our interests, and our principles. For our interests is where the enhancements, the increase, and the enrichments dwell within us. Our strength, our determination, our insight, our intangibles of all things that brings our truth to us. It is the intrinsic relationship that we have with ourselves and with all others that we interconnect with. It is the intrinsic where our foundational excellence dwells within us. That there is no qualification, or there is no quantification for all of the intrinsics that we have within us. And this is where the ancestors are calling for us to dwell within. It is the intrinsic relationship that we have within ourselves and with our ancestors that we must continue to magnify, that we must continue to dwell within, so that we can live our true selves, so that we can be our true selves. And as we continue to live within that intrinsic value that we have within us, as we continue to live that intrinsic self that we have within the interests of ourselves, as we continue to live the intrinsic life, that we dwell within the principles of ourselves, that is where the foundation of our excellence dwell within us. It is in the intrinsic value, the intrinsic interest, the intrinsic principles that we live within, so that we can live our anointed and ordained life. Intrinsic is our word for today, my brothers and sisters. Find out what your intrinsics are that you have within yourself, so that you can glorify and magnify yourself by doing the work that you have been required to do. And there are so many of us, my brothers and sisters, that are living the intrinsic life. Do not let media destroy what we are building within ourselves, in our thoughts, our words, and our actions. Do not allow others to tell your story. You must live your story. You must be your story. You must build your story, and you must sustain and maintain your story, whatever that is. And only you can tell your story. No one else can tell your story better than yourself. Because the intrinsics that dwells within you, it calls for you to do what you have been required to do. Because your commitment, your obligation, and your responsibility, it dwells within your intrinsic. And if you don't know what intrinsic is, it is within you. It is the spiritual relationship that you have within you from the Creator that has given you this breath of life, and that breath of life has an intrinsic value within it. It has an intrinsic interest in it, because your interest, it is what you are investing within yourself. What are you investing in within yourself? That is what the intrinsic is bringing towards you. What are you investing in yourself that shares your interests? And then that interest has a value that's associated with it. And that value is placed upon the principles of life that dwells within you. Your values, interests, and principles, what you stand for, what you are called to do, and that nothing or no one can take that away from you, because you were blessed. You were born with it. Being born with it means that you are blessed with it. And as you continue to live that blessed life of what you have been born with, those interests, your creativity, that is an extension of what is internal within you. That is what is intangible within you, and that is what is infinite within you. That means that there is no end to it. There is no beginning and there is no end. It is infinite. And as you continue to bring that forward and live that life, be that life, as you continue to build upon your life, then you will find life better for yourself, for your family, and your community. This is what the ancestors continue to bring to us today. Living the intrinsic life, living the spiritual life. And as things happen for you internally, intangibly, and infinitely, spiritually, then that is manifested, that is reflected upon and projected upon through that generator, that inner generator or inner generations of ancestors that dwell within you. They empower you, they give you insight, they give you intuitive knowledge and wisdom. They will continue to bring everything that you are required to have so that you can live the life that you are supposed to live, your purposeful life, your intentional life. Because it all happens from within. Intentions, intangible, internal, infinite, it is all a part of the intrinsic life. And that is why it is called intrinsic, because it is within you. Everything that we speak of, it is speaking about everything that is invested upon your spirit, your energy, your soul. This vessel, this altar, this temple, this institution, this industry that has been given to you has been given you so that you can learn all things within yourself so that you can expand upon it. So we give thanks to you for being a part of this libation ceremony this day, this libation, this liberation, and this lifestyle that has been given to us so that we can live the spiritual life that the ancestors and our great ancestor of all ancestors have given to us through the breath of life. The breath of life is not something that you have just so that you can wander aimlessly upon this plane that we're on right now. You're supposed to be living the intentional life, the intrinsic life, the internal, intangible, and infinite life for the purpose of building, manifesting, and creating all that has been given to you. So we say peace and power to you all this day. Let's continue to live, love, and learn our processes of life so that we can be the true vessels, altars, and temples of our ancestors. Peace and power to you all, and ashe to our ancestors.